evening with your CIGTV News Update. I'm Donna Bush. January is Cervical Health Awareness Month, and the Health Services Authority is encouraging women in the Cayman Islands to take action to protect themselves from cervical cancer by educating women about the ways they can prevent the disease, which includes regular screening tests and the HPV vaccine. Now, a press release from the HSA reports that there are 9 recorded cases of cervical cancer at the Cayman Islands Cancer Registry. However, the cancer registrar, Amanda Nicholson, does not believe this to be an accurate representation of those with the disease. This is probably one of those heavily underreported type of cancers, and so I strongly encourage anyone who's been diagnosed to contact me at the cancer registry, she says. Now, the evidence-based data you can provide will further fuel the cancer research necessary to improve quality of care and prevent further deaths from cervical cancer, she added. Now, cervical cancer can often be prevented with regular screenings, follow-up care, and the HPV vaccine. To find out more about the HPV vaccine, you can contact the Public Health Clinic at the Cayman Islands Hospital, as well as the Faith Hospital in Cayman Brac. Women diagnosed with cervical cancer and not yet registered with the Cancer Registry may contact Amanda Nicholson on 244-2560, or you can email her at amanda.nicholson, that's Nicholson, at hsa.ky. Well, the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service recently welcomed a Jamaica Constabulary Assistant Superintendent to our shores. Mr. Coleridge Minto of the Jamaican Constabulary Force was here as a keynote speaker for the Planning for Youth Success Conference held at the University College. Officer Minto is the Director for Security and Safety in Schools in Jamaica. While here, he gave a presentation to the students and teachers attending the conference. Now, an RCIPS press release explains that he began by speaking about the challenges faced by schools in Jamaica, the ways the police have been addressing them in partnership with the schools and students themselves, and the successes they've had. He ended his presentation by delivering an inspirational message to the students about how they can live up to their potential, using the story of his life as an example. He also visited police headquarters, where he met with the Commissioner of Police and other senior officers to discuss issues affecting both jurisdictions, local training opportunities, as well as best practices around community policing. And speaking of youth, this past weekend, the Cayman Islands YMCA hosted its 4th annual Leaders for Youth Conference, bringing together close to 150 YMCA staff, volunteers, teen leaders, and community partners. Everyone in attendance learned how to grow as leaders in their community. Now, the event featured workshops led by local community partners, the National Drug Council, Family Resource Center, and the Alex Panton Foundation, as well as international partners from various YMCAs in Florida and New Jersey. Now, the conference theme was Special Forces, and it highlighted YMCA leaders as a carefully selected and highly trained group fighting a different kind of war each day. Joel Francis, Acting Chief Officer for the Ministry of Education, Youth, Sports, Agriculture, and Lands, joined the conference for their opening session on Saturday morning. He provided opening remarks by encouraging all the participants. He said, quote, "I trust that each of you will come away from this conference with your resolve strengthened, your enthusiasm stirred, and your creativity increased as you sharpen the tools and skills you already have in order to launch a successful attack on those distractions and detractors that would try to steal what rightfully belongs to our children and youth." Now, the 2-day conference kicked off with leadership training for YMCA program coordinators and professional staff, which included topics such as coaching, high performance, and evaluating program quality. For more information about the Cayman Islands YMCA, you can go online to ymcacayman.ky, or you can email them at info@ymcacayman or .ky, or you can call 926-9622. And that ends today's news update here on CIGTV. If you missed it, you can go to the Cayman Islands Government Facebook page, as well as the CIG Television YouTube channel. I'm Donna Bush, as always, wishing you a safe and, of course, a very wonderful night. Thanking you for joining me, and I hope you'll do the same again tomorrow. Until then, bye-bye for now.
The Esterly Tibbetts Highway 3-lane roundabout is ready for drivers. It's time to make sure you know how to use it. First, know which exit you need to take. Pay attention to lane arrows and signs. make sure you use your signal to change lanes or exit the roundabout. To turn left, you always approach in the left-hand lane and indicate left. To drive straight ahead, you need to be looking out for signs and road markings indicating which lane to use. Get in one of the lanes marked with a straight-through arrow. If turning right, you must use the right-hand lane and indicate accordingly. To use the roundabout safely, remember these 3 tips. Know your exit, pick your lane, and signal to make your turn.
Did you know your mailing address details on your land register must be up to date in order to receive notices on new development which may impact you? Visit Lands and Survey Department to check your mailing address is correct. Did you know that walls, fences located along the road require planning permission no matter the height? You should check with the department as a planning and permit application may be required. Did you know that fences and walls within the high water setback require planning permission no matter the height? You should check with the department as a planning and permit application may be required. Did you know that a trellis structure requires planning permission? You should check with the department as a planning and permit application may be required. Did you know that a deck more than 6 inches above finished grade requires planning permission? Did you know you should check with the department as a planning and permit application may be required? Did you know that planning permission is required for a sign? Did you know you should check with the department as a planning and permit application may be required?
I'm Jody Ann Powery. I'm the Police Media Officer with the RCIPS, and I'm here to give you some crime prevention tips on how to best protect your property. The first thing that we want to discuss is our points of entries. Let's start with the front door, and then we'll move on to the windows and the back doors or sliding glass doors. The first thing to consider is the front door. This particular front door has 2 deadbolt locks. One of these deadbolt locks are properly carpentered and the other is not. When your door is properly locked, you'll hear a click at the end and the deadbolts are not able to move. If it is slightly opened, then you can push the deadbolt back without having any restrictions. I'll now proceed to show you what your lock should look like when it is properly locked. When it comes to your windows, you want to make sure that your window is locked all the way down, because even though the lock is on, if it's not all the way down, it can still be pried. The proper way to lock the window is to make sure that the window goes all the way down to the seal and then you pull across the lock. When you have a sliding glass door at home, you want to make sure that you have secondary locking devices in addition to the lock that comes with the door. One of those can be a simple piece of wood that's jamming the doorway. We want to encourage you to ensure that you don't make things easy for burglars who are looking for opportunities to break into property by leaving your property out in plain view. Some of these items are your car keys, your electronics, and your handbags. Make sure that you put these properties away when you're leaving the house or when you're going to bed. When you're going camping or if you're taking your family on a trip, you want to ensure that your property has some sign of life. This can be done by leaving a light on or putting timers on your lights. And we want to ensure that our family homes are safe. In order to do so, we encourage that people take the proper precautions by starting up neighborhood watches or encouraging family members or persons they trust to check on their properties while they're away.